Yay. Okay, so this is DocuSign. Basically, it's like DocuSign 101. Basics, how to get started, tips and tricks on what to do within Command, and then also utilizing DocuSign for you to send off your documents electronically. Makes it easy for you, makes it easy for your clients. So first things first, I always start over here in the right-hand corner of my name, which you can't see over there because there's a nice little box. But right there at my name, my little photo, I always double check my settings when I first get started to make sure that my account is connected. So you will see which DocuSign account or email is connected to your Command to ensure that you have no issues going forward. So should be all good to go. I know that when you sign on, Scott Leroy Marketing actually does this for you, so it makes it really easy. All right, first things first, I'm gonna start in my contacts. Now, if this is a new person, then you will add a contact and go through all of that process, okay? The biggest things that you really need, so if you're wanting to like get started real fast and just, you know, I've met this person, they want to put an offer in, you really just need their name, their email, and I do recommend their phone number. Makes it easy. So top 3 things, you can always go back later and add more information to the contact. Now, there is 2 ways to pretty much do everything in Command. So I went ahead and I'm looking, I just typed in a name. I'm going to use this name to go ahead and create an opportunity. You'll notice over here that my little timeline and stuff, all my information, this is my contact detail card. So I do always like to make sure that you know that you can find your opportunities, because you will always start with contacts and opportunities, then DocuSign whenever you do a transaction. Opportunities, this shows any opportunities I currently have, but I can also create one directly from here. The plus side of creating one from the contact is it's automatically going to pull all the information. Makes it really nice and easy. See here, pulls my name, pulls my email, pulls my phone number. Super cool. The other way that you can do it is you can go to your opportunities, or these little hands shaking, transaction, and you can go up here to this button over here, create opportunity. Now, opportunity types, this is very important. This is the only thing you cannot change, okay? So you will make sure that you are selecting listing or a buyer. So if it's a seller, select listing. If it's a buyer, select buyer. Pretty easy. We'll go ahead and do a listing today. The owner is not going to be Rachel. Hold on 1 second. Oh, here we go. Sorry. Okay, we're good. Now we're good. I had to select because I am technically on a team for other purposes for the Market Center. So I am going to go ahead and look for my client right here. Again, I'm just pulling in my information, but it's saying the same thing that it was doing in the opportunity or in the contact detail card. It just makes it easier because it's just going to pull it automatically if you're already in there. Custom tags, so you can add custom tags. So tags are great because it's a really easy way for you to organize your contacts or organize your opportunities. This makes it so then that way at the end of each month or quarter or year, you can go back and see where you actually got your transactions from, because it's great to see where you get your contacts from, but this is going to show you where you actually got business. And if majority of your business was from open houses or door knocking or whatever it was, then you might want to focus on that for the next quarter or next year. You can go ahead and do estimated close dates, time frames, estimated listing prices. Those are not required at first, because you notice there's no asterisks. Now, there is an asterisk, of course, for commission rate, opportunity phase, which is obviously where it's at in your pipeline. I'm going to go ahead and make this one an active one, and then I'm in staging. Actually, I'm going to make it an appointment. Just makes it easier for everybody else. I'm going to create this opportunity. Then this is basically going to open up my opportunity detail card as well. Now, the more information that you put into this, and the more information that's going to go over to your DocuSign details side, right? So if you do, since this is a listing, you can select from listings way up here at the very top. You can go ahead and search for any listings that are in here. So here's one that's, EXP of California. We're all over the place. I don't know what if it's gonna pop up. Let's see. Okay, so then you basically select the listing. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to mess anything up on someone's side, but you go ahead and select the listing, it pulls in all the information, then that way that's gonna pull over to your DocuSign. Makes it easier for you when you're going through your documents. I'm gonna go ahead and switch over here to documents, because this is gonna be your next step, which is also selecting your checklist type. So checklist type over here, this is not gonna automatically pull, and you'll notice that there's no checklist items or documents for you to use as placeholders. So I'm gonna go ahead and select my checklist type. I'm gonna select residential. Now I've got 3 folders over here listed under contract and close. And now I have all of these placeholders over here that are showing what I need to have in order for compliance purposes, tells you what's required. If there's an I next to it, then it gives you like a little note on it, or it says like why this is replacing this, or why this is required, or potentially why it's conditional. So pretty cool. The next piece of information that I'm going to go ahead and do is start a transaction. This is actually going to pull up my DocuSign and create a room that's going to link with this opportunity. That's why we always start contact opportunity DocuSign. Okay, I guess I should say opportunity documents DocuSign. So I'm going to go ahead and click start a transaction. It's going to pop up a new browser window. This is just DocuSign. I am going to go ahead and sign in with my email and everything, which I think I know that. Yeah. Okay, good. So many passwords, you know? Okay, so this is what we call a DocuSign room. This is, again, linked to your command. If I switch back over here to command, it's now going to say go to transactions, and now I have options to attach files from my DocuSign room. It's not going to attach anything, though, that is not signed or a PDF. We'll get to that here in just a second, but that's just a quick note, because if I do try to put something in, there's obviously nothing in there. You'll also notice, sorry, I'm going to go back to here. You'll also notice in your details part, there is now a sync transaction button. This is if you make any edits or changes in your DocuSign details side or in your command. So go ahead and sync transaction, and that way they do populate on both sides. They do work together. And that usually happens like if you are working with a buyer and you want to select the listing or add the property address, then that way it pulls it all in for you. Details here. So this is also where you can input this information. And again, it's going to talk back to it. It is best to kind of do it in command though, over doing it in DocuSign, just because it's pulling it from kind of one way works a little bit better than others, depending on what you're putting in. So this has like my seller information. So this, I am the seller. This is where I would put my property address. You can make your edits in here. So I just click this little edit button and these boxes pop up. Let's go ahead and do 1, 2, 3, 4 Main Street, Springfield. I'm just going to put some information in, Springfield, Missouri, or Mississippi works, I guess, too. And then, of course, this is just some other information that you can put in as well. Offer dates, contract amounts. This is just basically going to pull it all into your documents where those fields are at. So you're not having to type it all in multiple times if you don't need to. I'm going to save that information. And then I'm going to go back to my documents. And I want to add my documents to the room. So you're going to click on this little add blue button. DocuSign forms or computer. If you did get something that was, you wet signed it or you did fill it out by hand or something, I recommend having it in your room because then that way it's always going to be there. You do have to keep documents for a certain amount of years. I want to say it's 5. It might be 3. I don't remember, but it's good to just have access to your rooms forever and have all your documents in it in case you ever got asked for it or audited. Even if you left KW, you would still have access to your DocuSign rooms because you do need that information. So you can upload it to the computer if you need somebody to sign it, or from your computer if it is something that's like a paper physical document. I recommend using DocuSign forms whenever possible. You do have packets over here. Now, your first time doing this, a box is probably going to pop up and it has 6 different icons on it. It's going to say realtor and a bunch of other stuff. That is basically putting your integrations in correctly. So making sure that you are selecting realtor. Another box will pop up. You'll input your MLS, your NRDS number, which I think right now is 512. It starts with that. And it's the number you get from the board whenever you join it, or from pretty much National Association of Realtors. but it does come from the board's information. You'll input your last name, and then what you will put in as the last field, which is a drop down, is Missouri Association of Realtors. So if you're getting those errors, that is your quick fix on how to get those in. Then that way you get access to the National Association of Realtor forms, the MAR forms, GSVO, or everything that you need access to. You'll have it all in this wonderful little box. I only have KW forms, which is fine because I just use it for training purposes, so not a big deal. But as you can see, I do have listing documents in here, and these are all the KW required documents that you do have. Again, you can toggle back into your opportunity and go to your documents tab, and you can see again the checklist for what is required, conditional, or what's the last one? Optional. That's the wonderful word. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab a couple of these documents here. And I'm going to add those documents in, and then they pop up in my room. You'll notice that in the little corner, there's a blue form. That means it's a static form. If I was uploading from the computer, let's see what that would look like. I'm sure there's probably a document on here that I can use. I don't need slide decks. Okay, let's try this. So see here, this is a PDF because it's red. That will also pull into your room. So if I go back here, let me sync really fast. Update, documents. And then now it's allowing me to pull that PDF. Does that make sense? I didn't have to do anything to it because again, I could have gotten it wet signed, scanned some stuff in. So that is something that's just a note to make sure if you do have multiple PDFs in there, make sure that they're labeled correctly. And I would put like dash signed or final or something like that. So that way you are pulling the correct documents in. I'm going to go ahead and add that in really fast. So you notice I just pulled it in right there. And then this box right here turned green because you can actually submit for compliance once you have documents in here. And we recommend that. I'm going to go back to the rooms and stuff again and just show you this part or the e-signature side and making the edits. So I'm going to go ahead and just select this document. I just click on it. I don't actually check mark it, okay? That's important to know. So this is my Missouri broker disclosure form. You'll notice that there's nothing on it at this moment. This is basically the broker entity and information. So if you do hover over, it will tell you exactly what needs to be filled out on that. So this is Keller Williams Realty. Again, there is a spot to put this on your details side. So you don't have to actually put this in, but it does not automatically pull it over unless you put that in there yourself. Okay, perfect. Then I'm going to go ahead and save and close this. And then I think my other one does the same thing. This is a pretty short document. These are KW required, and you'll notice that because they do start with a KW. If it's a MAR form, then it's MAR, like numbers, stuff like that. Affiliate referral of business. You notice that the address is pulling over because I did have that in my details section. You'll notice that here I don't have a seller or I don't have a seller's signature box or a date because we're still in the room side. We'll get that pulled in once we move it over to the envelope and the e-signature side. So this pulls in here. I'm going to go ahead and select that this is a seller. Makes it easy. Double check it, save and close. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab both of these documents here. And you'll notice that these little options pop up. So if you hover over them, it's going to tell you what they mean. And the one that we want is create an envelope. Looks like the seller is the only person that's required to sign these documents. It's only pulling one seller. It might, yeah. And you'll know that whenever you are going through your documents, like who actually needs to sign it, and all of those people will pop up, but you just need to select the ones that you know need to sign it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And then this is going to be our e-signature side or your envelope. So these are the two documents that we know we pulled in here. You have your recipients, so it's just myself because that's the only person that I selected as a pre-tagged role that is going to be receiving that. If you do have other recipients, you'll notice here that you can add more if you'd like to. You'll also notice these two different colors because it will differentiate them when you are utilizing the document and where to put those signature or date boxes to make sure that you are putting the correct ones for whoever needs to actually sign it. Then you can also set a signing order, which I also really enjoy because sometimes you have maybe like 4 different people that need to sign a document. This makes it easy because you can figure out who needs to get it first, who needs to get it second, last, whatever it is. Or if that person doesn't actually need to sign it, they just need to receive a copy or view it, then you can also set that as well. I'm going to delete my second person and my signing order because it's just me. You can also go down here and add a message. So you can do complete your listing documents and you can add in a nice little message. Please sign the listing documents for your home. I'm going to go down here in the right-hand corner and select next. This is again e-signature side, and you'll notice over here I have my little artist palette where you can add fields. However, if you do scroll down and you did do those pre-tagged roles, it automatically puts that information in there. I do want to stress and notate that you do need to make sure that if you have a signature box to also grab a date signed box. So signature and date signed, that does not automatically get added. I know some e-signature platforms you just had to add a signature box and then it automatically had it, but you do need to make sure that you have one next to a signature box. Initials, you don't really need that, so not a big deal there. Then we're going to scroll down here and you'll notice that I also have my initial boxes automatically populated, and same with this one. Now, I'm going to go back up here really fast. You know how I did do this in the other, like in my room? I highly recommend making any edits or changes inside of your room rather than your signature or e-signature side. You can change this if you needed to. You can do it here. However, it does not revert back to your static form that stays in your room that you can make edits to later on. So say you do get it signed or you have it all done, but then you have to make an edit to it. You can go back to your static form, make the changes, and then resend that for signatures. If you do all of your changes in your e-signature side, you will not have that document to go back to and change and edit in your room. It's something I run into a lot, so I do like to make sure that everybody knows that. Then the last thing you're going to do is go ahead and send it. So I'm sending, and I get to sign into my Gmail so we can see what that looks like on my side. I really hope I had that right. Okay, I do. Okay, so now you notice here at the very, very top, it says complete with DocuSign. I'm going to go ahead and select, I'm going to click on it, and then it says my review documents, right? It has right here my little message that I had put in along with who had sent it, which it came from me. So I'm going to review the documents. I'm going to allow this time, click continue. If this is the first time that your clients are signing it, there is a little like waiver thing that they have to say, like, yes, I am agreeing to signing this electronically and all of that. So don't worry, it does cover you on that side. Okay, next I'm just going to go ahead and click sign, and I'm going to click initial, which I don't know if these are actually, hold on. No, you have to click on the actual box. Sorry, I should know that. Okay, perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and click on all of those and then click finish. And then that document is all done. Start sending and signing today. You don't need to do any of that, but it does say like you are completed and you are finished with it. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my little envelope. So see how this one here says that it needs my signature, probably because it hasn't registered it just yet. If I click on this, now I'm in the little envelopes tab, shows that this person has signed and what time and date that they signed it at as well, which is really, really nice. You can view the documents this way if you'd like to. Now it also says completed. So all of your envelopes and stuff, they will show up in your little envelopes tab. You notice that I only use 3 tabs: details, documents, and envelopes. This history one is also really nice because it will say like, hey, go ahead and use, or like, hey, go ahead and double check and make sure like when this was signed, if someone was waiting on it, if it says waiting for signatures, you can resend it as well. And it will show all of that information in here. So that's really nice too. I'm gonna go back to my documents, and you notice that I do have more documents in here, right? This one is my certificate for completion. So this is also showing when something was signed, who signed it, and it also is giving like, yes, this is approved, that I am allowing them to see it, that I signed it digitally. This is also showing my affiliate referral of business. Like I said, here's your static form, your original copy. This is your signed document. You can't make any edits to that, but you can make edits to your static form if you needed to. I'm gonna go back to my opportunities in command. So I'm pretty sure I had my affiliate referral of business. Oh, hold on. Gotta sync the transaction, gotta update it. So if it's not showing, remember, go back to your details and go ahead and sync it. Now I can add my affiliate referral of business. You'll notice that I have a lot more options in here. So you'll also notice that they say signed and they're PDFs, because now after they have been signed from the static form, it's gonna be a PDF, so you can go ahead and pull it in, but it does notate that it says signed, and that does that automatically. Cool. And now those documents are in here. You'll notice over here on the right-hand side, whenever I click the little 3 dots, you can remove it if you have not sent it off to the Market Center for compliance purposes. You can remove it. If you have sent it back to the Market Center for compliance purposes, and it does come back as like rejected or anything like that, your only option is to replace it, not to remove it, because it's already gone through the compliance purpose. And that would all show up over here. So you would have these little boxes where it says not uploaded and stuff. They would actually say approved, be green, rejected, and be red. And next to it would say what the issues are on those documents. Okay, now there is another class on Thursday. I'm gonna make a little plug. Landon is teaching his compliance lead to close. That also shows our offers and commissions tab and everything towards the end of the process when your transaction actually closes. So just a plug. And that's pretty much it. That was basically DocuSign. That's all of opportunities. Remember, always start in contacts, opportunities, and documents, and then start a transaction to go into DocuSign to make sure that everything links properly for you. Any questions? How are you doing, Audrey? Is that good?
Yes, I think I'll probably have some commercial questions, but they're probably pretty specific. So
no worries at all.
I'll probably just book a training with you at some point.
You got it. And we'll keep working on that checklist for you too.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Do you have questions specifically on DocuSign, Andrew? Or do you want to? Yeah.
Well, I was working on a contact that was a business name.
Okay.
It wasn't holding all of it to do an opportunity. So possibly what Audrey was talking about, maybe.
So your opportunity name can be whatever you want it to be.
Well, like the contact wasn't holding like the length of the business name, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was if you can change the formatting of the contact.
Why don't you try this? Why don't you try, go to your contact and then edit your contact?
Hold on.
You're good. You're fine.
Contact. Edit. Okay.
Then you can, you know, the little pencil.
I did that.
Okay, cool. So if you do the pencil and then you scroll down and you do add more information, you can do a legal name.
Legal name, okay.
Try that and see if the business will be able to hold in that. Yes, no.
It's holding there, so will
Okay.
will that transfer over to the
Uh-huh.
opportunities? Okay,
Yeah. It'll transfer over to opportunities and DocuSign because technically they want you to use the legal names.
right.
Now here is my other thing that I do run into with businesses and everything like that. So it's if you're putting it in as a contact, like Sometimes there might be a small piece of it that is missing. You can always do a text box over it in your signature area. So remove the text box that's already there and then go ahead and type it in that way. Cause it's using those pre-filled roles or pre-tagged
Right.
roles. And a lot of times, sometimes with different entities or different business names,
Right.
it'll sometimes revert back to like a legal name or their full name.
Okay.
So just a little tip there. I've ran into it a couple of times
Right.
recently.
I just wanna make it as easy as possible. If I can
Yeah.
use the contact
Yes,
to repeat right off of
that
or
should
whatever way.
help with it.
Okay,
That should help with it. But then there's also a small workaround to just put a text box over it.
perfect.
Cool. Great question. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop this recording. However, if anybody ever needs help with DocuSign, go ahead and give me a call. My phone number and everything is on the board, or my email is doas369@gmail.com. And we can set up an appointment to dive in deeper.